Imagine a meadow in peak summer where every petal and leaf is bathed in golden light. This is an ecosystem that appears visually perfect from the outside. Within this space, the colorful butterflies define the standard of success. Their vibrant wings allow them to blend seamlessly into the flowers, creating a world where looking like your environment is the primary way to belong. But near the damp soil, away from the sun, sits a butterfly with muted gray wings. Against the bright backdrop of the meadow, she is almost invisible, separated from the others by a complete lack of color. She spends her hours focused on that difference. This constant comparison creates a psychological barrier. She believes that because she lacks the vibrant patterns of the others, she has no role to play in the life of the garden. When status is tied strictly to how one looks, it creates a stagnant environment. In this meadow, beauty is a common resource, but it doesn't necessarily mean the inhabitants are attending to the needs of the soil. Despite the overall glow of the meadow, there are pockets of decay. In the deep shadows, hidden from the casual observer, several flowers have begun to wilt, their petals curling as they lose the race for moisture. The butterflies in the upper canopy remain in the sunlight, unaware of the plants struggling below. From her position near the ground, the gray butterfly is the only one close enough to see the flowers failing. She makes a choice. Instead of staring at her own gray wings, she flies toward a drooping stem to see what it needs. She is trading her focus on her own appearance for an interest in the survival of the garden. This shift toward an external problem is the essential starting point for what follows. By looking outward, she moves from being a passive observer of her own flaws to a potential solution for the meadow's crisis. The scale of the problem is massive. To a single butterfly, a wilted patch of the garden is a vast, dry wilderness that requires immediate physical intervention. She begins the work by collecting water. She has to balance the weight of a single heavy dewdrop while flying, a task that requires her to use every bit of strength in her small frame just to stay airborne. She doesn't stop at water. She begins a systematic process of flying to the healthy blooms, gathering fresh pollen on her legs, and meticulously carrying it down to the parched plants in the shade. The labor is grueling. Her wings grow heavy and her movements slow down as she completes trip after trip. There is no one there to cheer her on, and the work itself offers no immediate reward other than more work. Her value is now being defined by her output. While her wings remain gray, her constant movement is becoming the vital link that allows the dying parts of the meadow to begin their recovery. The first signs of success are micro-adjustments. As the moisture hits the parched earth, a single flower stem begins to stiffen, drawing the water up to its thirsty petals. The recovery spreads. A flower that was once a dull, dying gray suddenly unfurls, its petals expanding until it erupts into a bright, luminescent blue that lights up the dark corner of the meadow. This creates a chain reaction. As more flowers open, they begin to emit a soft, magical light that changes the entire environment, turning the once shadowed patch into a glowing center of activity. The little butterfly hasn't changed her own appearance yet, but she has become the primary architect of the color returning to this corner of the world. The meadow is now fully restored. Every flower is open, and the ecosystem is operating at a level of vibrancy it couldn't achieve when these plants were dying in the dark. As the mist from the morning dew meets the new light from the flowers, a gentle rainbow forms across the sky, a visual signal that the garden's health has been returned to balance. Beneath this rainbow, a new kind of energy begins to gather. Glowing sparks of light rise up from the very flowers the gray butterfly worked so hard to save. This energy moves toward the butterfly as she rests on a leaf, exhausted from her labor. It swirls around her, drawn to the effort she spent on others. This isn't a random event. It is a reaction to her actions, the meadow's way of reflecting the vitality she poured into it back onto her. The transformation is instantaneous. The magical energy settles into her wings, replacing dull gray scales with a shimmering, rainbow-colored pattern that glows from within. The other butterflies gather around, looking at her with a new kind of respect.
They aren't just seam and in pattern. They are seeing the butterfly who brought the color back to the ground they ignored. She takes flight, moving with confidence she never had when she was hiding in the shadows. She is no longer defined by what she lacked, but by what she has contributed. This is the real nature of beauty. It isn't an accidental trait found in a mirror. It's a visible light that grows stronger the more we use our strength to help the world around us bloom.